Morning, guys. I've got to be quiet again. I'm up early. It's around 7 a.m. I actually normally get up about 6, but I'm a bit later today. It's Sunday morning. Happy Sunday. Wherever you are around the world, thank you for joining us. I've noticed we're getting a lot more British people joining us at the moment. UK, welcome. Um, we have a very large amount of Americans. We love the Americans and Canadians, Australians, and many other countries, even Germany. We've had many countries are joining us now. We've had 140 new subscribers very recently. Thank you. So it's early in the morning. I've got myself a cup of tea. So anyone that likes what I'm doing, thank you for sending me a cup of tea or coffee. Buy me on the Buy Me a Coffee button. Thank you for any super thank yous. Thank you to anyone that has become a member. Membership is only $1. $1. I keep it at the lowest amount possible on purpose. So we've reviewed this channel a few times called Count Mozart. Count Mozart. I love their channel. I want to review another one of their videos. We might have to do it in 2 parts because it's quite long, but I am a big fan of Greece. A big fan of Greece. So, to cut a long story short, guys, I became a fan around 4 years old, discovering the song I Just Can't Help Believing, which there's a picture behind me that was sent by Karen. Thank you so much, Karen. I've had some lovely birthday gifts from people. So even Tony sent me this bunting. What I didn't know is that it isn't just a picture of Elvis. It also says the words Team Elvis. So I read a comment. The bunting, when you spread it out, has this and the words Team Elvis. For us, we have, in case you're new to my channel, we run Team Elvis. We are Elvis defenders. We come together to defend Elvis, Lisa, and the bloodline. I need a cup of tea to wake up, guys. Are you lot the same? You Americans, you like your coffee as well, don't you? I need a cup of tea and a coffee to start to wake up. That's how I start my day. No sugar. Of course, I'm on carnivore diet. I'm on keto diet. Look it up, guys. Keto diet has transformed my health. Dr. Ken Berry is the main doctor I use on YouTube for the keto diet, for the carnivore diet. Anyway, Greece. Why is it so important in my life? I have a short story. I won't go into it too much because we've got a long video to go through. But Greece transformed my life, guys, because I discovered Elvis at 4. I started trying to be like him, dress like him, do my hair like him almost immediately. Going to the shop, trying to find his records, trying to get posters of Elvis and magazines, putting his posters up on my wall. I just immersed myself in everything Elvis. I discovered his movies, which again were life-changing for me. Couldn't wait to watch them, would rush home to watch the reruns. I think most of us watch the reruns, yeah, because obviously I grew up through the 70s. Guys, I feel very, very fortunate that I grew up in the 70s. Yeah, it really was a special time. My dad had a little cafe, only a small little cafe. It wasn't busy. And I remember the waitresses that would look after me because I was a small child. They liked people like David Cassidy, and basically Rollers and other very well-known bands from the 70s. Believe it or not, Elvis wasn't really the thing when I was a little kid with the other kids. So being an Elvis fan, I stood out. Obviously, I had the quiff, which I've always had. Luckily, at 58 years old, I've still got a quiff, which is unbelievable. Most Greek Cypriots, because I'm Greek Cypriot but born in England, most Greek Cypriots don't have a quiff. They've lost their hair. They're bald. My father was bald in his mid-40s. And so we hear about Greece coming out. They keep releasing the songs that are in Greece from America. So So the British people were hearing the songs like "You're the One That I Want," "Grease Is the Word." At first, we don't tie it together that there's a movie coming, but eventually the word gets out. There's a movie coming, and so everyone in England is excited to see this movie. It was only being played in the cities, and this is how we discover Grease. I go to Bristol City and I watched Grease. I was 11 years old and it changed my life. Suddenly, being an Elvis fan became very popular because the whole theme of Grease was rock and roll. So it really did lift my life, made me very popular at school, made me popular with girls. I had the best looking girlfriend in school because I was the one that looked a bit like Danny Zuko, that dressed and walked and acted like Danny Zuko, when really I was dressing, walking and acting like Elvis because I loved Elvis. I remember going to the shops trying to find clothes that looked rock and roll when I was 11 years old. The leather jacket or the denim jacket. I had the denim jeans rolled up, bright coloured socks, or maybe sometimes I would just wear a white t-shirt with the sleeves rolled up and the jeans rolled up. I just loved it. I loved anything rock and roll, anything rock and roll. So I'm a big fan of Grease. Grease really made everything feel okay. Yeah. You know, you get embarrassed at that age. So Grease just made everything cool again. So that's my short story. There's much more to it, but so let's look at this YouTube channel, The Count of Mozart. He's done a really good Elvis reaction video. I think his video is excellent. When you first find the channel, you are a bit taken aback, but when you start listening to these people, they really do have a brilliant take on Elvis, and we reviewed their video yesterday, and they sent me a coffee, a large coffee. Thank you so much for the super thank you. So I went through their channel and I see the Grease one. And I thought, oh, I've got to play that. I've got to play that. So this is what we're going to try and do this morning, guys. We may have to do it in 2 parts. We do have to critique, review. Otherwise, YouTube don't like it because they will copyright us. So we're going to stop and start, say what we think of it. I want to do a few more things on Grease. I'm a massive fan of Grease, Olivia Newton-John, John Travolta. In fact, all the cast of Grease. I'm a real big fan. So if I can find some old footage discussing how Grease was made, the story behind Grease, I think I'd like to do some reviews on it. I'm a very big fan of John Travolta of the 1970s. Yeah. So Saturday Night Fever was a massive thing for me. I absolutely loved it. Even Staying Alive was great. So I'm a big John Travolta fan. The John Travolta that in later years I'm not such a big fan of. But he's a good guy, I think. Isn't he a good guy? I have some views about Scientology that I don't agree with. That is my problem with John Travolta. The Scientology to me just doesn't make sense, but that's just my opinion. Okay, right, let's press play. Let's have a look. I have not watched this yet. I have not watched it, so I'm hoping to learn lots of new things about Grease, John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John, and many other things. Let's go. Right, I can't play too much music because it'll be copyrighted, so I'm gonna have to jump over that. Let's have a look. Here goes.
Last night, I had chills, and they were multiplying.
Great.
Now, guys, at first, obviously the theme. I think the theme here is of a vampire. Yeah. At first, it does take a bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, these people are lovely people.
Grease is the word. John Travolta and the wonder from down under.
Olivia Newton-John.
2 knockouts. Grease. I love this Grease. What do you think about this Grease? You remember this Grease movie?
Of course I do.
Let me tell you something.
Great movie.
I'm going to start with John Travolta. Now, this guy was a powerhouse. We're talking, Grease came out in 1978 in America, and it was a box office sensation, world smash hit. He was born in New Jersey. He quit high school, actually. He was a high school dropout.
Yes, I
Did you
heard
know
that.
that?
Yes.
Yeah, and he went into New York
See, what I like about these two people is they do a lot of research. They really get all their facts pretty close to 100% correct. Both of them, between them. So he's, like he did in the Elvis film, he's teaching us. He's teaching us all many of the things we didn't know. I didn't know he was a dropout.
City.
Right.
And he actually worked on a Grease play. He wasn't Danny Zuko, that's the
Right.
name of the character, but he was something else. He was too young. And then he eventually moved to LA, to Los Angeles, and he started getting roles, and he really took off with this sitcom called Welcome Back, Kotter.
So many of you are going to remember Welcome Back, Kotter. I never watched it. I think I remember it being mentioned a few times, but I never watched it. I think it was more of an American thing. What do you think, guys? Was Welcome Back, Kotter something you liked, you watched in the 70s?
Oh, no, they were the Sweat Hogs. This guy was Vinnie Barbarino.
Vinnie Barbarino. Die-cut figures. All right, they even had die-cut figures. And you could get clothing accessories. I didn't know that, guys.
Barbarino. He was incredible.
Seen that, but would John Travolta do that now?
Vinnie Barbarino with the Barbarino song.
Now, I'm not digging the long hair, but it obviously suits him for this program. But for Grease, nah, you need that hair swept back.
You, Vinnie, we like it.
Incredible. I mean, he was a knockout.
Really?
And then he went and he did this made-for-TV movie called Boy in the Plastic Bubble. There's some little kid in the bubble, and and then he grew up, and he was like
I
a
think
big.
I remember
You remember that
that
guy?
movie.
And he's in like a
Do you guys remember the boy in a plastic bubble?
plastic thing, and he
Yes.
can't leave the. You know what? Sounds like something we just went through.
I think I've watched it, actually. I think I watched it a long time ago.
Anyway, he got signed by Robert Stigwood, who, he managed the Bee Gees, this guy, to a 3-picture deal.
Okay.
And guess what came next? Saturday Night Fever.
Yes.
Saturday
That
Night
was
Fever.
big.
Oh, come on,
Come on, one of the best films ever made. Seriously, guys, one of the best films ever made. I absolutely love this film.
But anyway, how was Olivia doing at the time?
Yeah, Olivia, she was big in Australia. Huge. She actually, at 14, she joined a
So she was already a singer, a big singer in Australia.
a singing group. She won a contest.
Do you hear that? And let me just go back a little bit. She was in a children's singing group. Is that right? Let me just listen.
Saturday
That
Night
was
Fever.
big.
Oh, come on, But anyway, how was Olivia doing at the time?
Yeah, Olivia, she was big in Australia. Huge. She actually, at 14, she joined a singing group. She won a contest. And all of a sudden, she became very famous in her country.
I mean, she's stunning, isn't she? It's one thing I've always thought about Olivia is how beautiful she is. Even when I was 11 years old, I had a bit of a crush on her when I used to watch Grease. She was like the perfect girl.
Was born actually in United Kingdom, in England.
And she moved to
And then she moved to Australia.
the Christchurch or something like
Yes,
that. That's a very
yes.
famous thing.
But yeah, very unique voice. That's why she really, she made it famous in Australia first.
Well, when they were, so this Grease was written by a Jim Jacobs and a Warren Casey. They wrote Summer Nights, and they came up with this idea. These two friends, that they were at a party one night, and all they heard was Led Zeppelin. And Led Zeppelin was great, by the way. But they longed for the 50s, kind of doo-wop and all that kind of stuff. And they
Don't we all, guys?
joined forces, and they wrote this musical. Hey, I think they never did it before. They just wrote this cool musical about the 50s, and they wrote those songs. I mean, they weren't like songwriters, really. They became songwriters. But they wrote this, and then that play took off in Chicago, and then eventually made it to Broadway in New York. and at one point became the longest running.
Show, right?
Yeah.
Let's have a look then, guys. So obviously the Grease musical was out before the movie. I'm trying to see if there's a date. The longest running show on Broadway. So it was a big thing anyway, guys. Interesting.
Musical on
Wow.
Broadway.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Like before, it was like when it was a musical, and before it became a movie, they pictured for to be an X-ray cartoon.
An X-rated cartoon?
But
What a bunch of freaks.
I know. I mean, it had a lot of potential to do this.
Instead of Denny Zuko, Denny Zucchini. I can't make a joke right there. Yeah, insert the laughter. Anyway, yeah. So this producer Alan Carr and Robert Stigwood again, they got the rights to make this film, and it was very difficult to get it going, but they did. And listen to this. It cost $6 million at the time, and $6 million got them John Travolta, got them Olivia Newton-John, and that movie grossed over $400 million.
Wow,
That's
big
never
hit.
been.
I think it's one of the most successful movies of all time. Yeah, it really. I mean, it ticked all the boxes, guys. It was just so fantastic.
Big hit. It's never been duplicated.
Right.
But what happened with this Olivia, right?
Right.
She was huge.
She was huge, and actually, John Travolta had to convince her to join the cast of Grease.
That's right.
She didn't really just accept her right as
well,
So yeah, I heard about this. John Travolta actually went to her house and asked her to do it. He must have had a feeling for her. I hear they had a bit of an on-set romance.
think about it. She, along with this, she had a musical producer, writer, who wrote all her hits. His name was John Farrar. And this guy, he was a hit-making machine. He wrote all those hits for her. And she, because she was with some other woman over there in Australia, and then they kind of separated a little bit. Then Olivia was the star, and she took off, and then this John Farrar wrote her all these big hits, and she became this crossover artist where it was like a lot of country songs mixed with pop songs.
Yeah, she sang the John
Interesting, guys. Interesting.
Denver song, Country.
Country Road, Take Me Home.
Yeah, that's the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sang that song.
I'm a big fan of John Denver, guys. Big fan. And I love the movie about his life as well. It's one of my favorite movies.
My God, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
actually.
she did
I know the
country.
song, but
She
I
did
didn't know
country
did that.
first, then she evolved,
pop.
right? Then she went to Grease with these great hits, and she
But
became a big pop star.
It's true, and when John had to convince her, because so what happened was, because there's Alan Carr, there was, what was that lady's name? Helen Reddy. I think she was another singer, actor kind of woman, and she had a dinner party, and this Olivia went to the house, and then this Alan Carr, producer, was looking for somebody. They were looking at Princess Leia from Star Wars, Susan Day.
Didn't know that, guys. So these are the other people that they were interested in doing it.
From the Partridge Family, even Linda Ronstadt.
No,
But then he saw this Olivia.
and Elton John knew that was
Just look at that, guys.
the start to be.
Well, because she was a big star at the time.
Right.
She was like an American sweetheart from Australia.
Right.
Look at that. She's stunning. So beautiful.
Even John Travolta had the hots for her. You know what I mean? But
We miss Olivia Newton-John. My brother said this to me the other day when we were talking about Grease, that once Olivia passes away, the whole world changed a little bit. The world without Olivia is different. That's what my brother said to me when we were having a dog walk, talking about Grease. It's very true, guy. Very true.
she had done something else. They put her in a movie. This is before she got all the big hits. This
Right.
is she was. I know we jumping around a little bit, but they put it. There was a cuckoo movie called Tomorrow. It was spelled Doo Tomorrow. Yeah.
So I don't know this film.
Anyway, they tried to make like there was a sitcom in the United States called, it was like the Monkees. They were like a
Yeah, I like the Monkees. Come on, guys. We love the Monkees.
group, but they were not real. They kind of real, but not. They were actually all talented. Mike Nesmith and
And
Mickey,
it was a
Mickey
musical.
Dolenz.
Come on. We all watched the Monkees as kids, didn't we, kids? Kids. I love the Monkeys. I thought they were brilliant.
It was a TV show.
Oh, it was.
But they were trying to make this like a Beatles kind of funny kind of thing, and it actually worked. You know, Daydream Believer. They had all these big hits. You know, and I think a lot of those were written by Neil Diamond and stuff like that. But these Monkeys were big, so they tried to
Neil Diamond wrote the Monkeys hits. Is that correct? Obviously, we know Daydream Believer.
put her in like a monkey kind of like a monkey movie,
That is crazy.
and it was a flop.
terrible.
So then
All right, so she was in that kind of a movie.
when this Grease came along, she wasn't too. You know, first of all, they're supposed to be young, right?
Right. Well, yeah, I know. What I hear is that John Travolta went to her house.
Let me tell you, you know, and I hate to interrupt you,
Right.
Bella, but you looking like you're looking
Right, so this is Bella. Right, okay, I know the name now. Bella looks stunning, dressed up like Olivia. Bella, you're beautiful.
like sexy sexy.
Tell me about it, stud.
Yeah, kind of inspired.
You're very inspired. Well, what about me?
Christina, yeah.
I'm a little. I'm a Danny Zuko.
You're John Travolta.
I like that name, Danny.
You're Danny.
That's a good
You got your leather jacket on.
thing.
I should call you Danny.
You can call me Danny the whole night.
Count Danny.
I don't mind that. That's a very good thing. Go on.
So I saw
He's funny. He's funny,
story
guys.
behind that is that he went to her house
love this, Bella.
and he was
Ciao,
so
Bella.
impressed by her beautiful house, probably a mansion. He was like with a pool,
Oh, no.
with horses. You know, he was so impressed with her.
This Travolta.
and John Travolta, yes,
He went to convince her to do it.
yes, and then
He probably
We're all so glad that he did.
liked
she's
her.
so funny because 5 years later, she said that he had a jet. He became so rich with the Grease.
Oh, yeah.
movie.
So he's got a jet parked in his garden, mate.
He became a pilot.
A pilot, and he had a jet, so he had everything that he was dreaming.
Oh, you know,
Come on, John Travolta at one point was one of the most famous people on the planet. Yeah, extremely wealthy.
you know, just to as we are the cheerleaders, you know, just thinking about, and we'll get into the movie a little bit, but Olivia demanded a screen test, which is unthinkable, you know, and actors out there know what I'm talking about.
And I've heard this story. She was really nervous of doing it. She was only 50-50, maybe less. So let's listen to this.
She demanded a screen test because she was so huge, she didn't need it. She wanted it, she didn't need it. It's like an old saying, you know, like we want you, we don't need you. That kind of, it's like an entertainment kind of thing. But she demanded a screen test, and what that is she. First of all, the cast of this Grease is supposed to be very young. You know, they're in high school. You know, 16, 17 years old kids. And these people are all in the 20s. And
Yeah,
she was almost...
She was 28, and he was
she was
23.
Yeah, he was younger.
Yeah, so we know that they were all much older, but it just worked. It just worked. Even though they were playing much younger people, it just worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she never, she didn't look. She looked young.
They all looked young.
They all
I
looked
mean, they
young,
really
yeah.
did, you know. But she demanded that, and they were blown away. And so what a screen test is they stick you in, you know, they do a little test and put her with John Travolta and see how they looked. And she wanted to know because she had a bomb, and she didn't want to screw up her career. So, you know, this Olivia Newton-John, you know, she's a super smart woman. Even back then, she was getting so savvy. And what a freaking
Look at her. Beautiful. So beautiful, guys.
talent
Oh,
this woman
amazing
was.
voice.
You know,
Amazing voice.
Even, well, I'm not going to jump ahead, but I'm going to come back to that one. So they start making this movie. Now, John, he had just finished, he wrapped the movie Saturday Night Fever, a cultural just phenomenon, really, you know, about the disco and the 70s, really, out of New York City. And we might want to do a show on that, so they'll knock out.
I hope they do. They might have already done it, but I hope they do a show on that. I'm all ears when it comes to that movie. I absolutely love the movie. Love it. Now, I grew up in town centre, and I had 3 nightclubs. This is in the 70s, yeah? Across the road from my home. We lived in a flat above a cafe. A bit of a derelict flat, very run down, leaky roof, leaky windows. But I always remember the excitement of all the people going to the nightclubs in the 70s. You know, the way people dressed. I remember the cars, people driving around after the nightclub. And I was very affected by the disco stuff. The disco, you know, part of the 70s, because I would just look out my window and I could watch these people coming and going, all laughing and singing. They were drunk, going in and out of the nightclubs. And that always stuck with me. And this film, Saturday Night Fever, really captures that, doesn't it? It really captures the way discos were. And discos were a big part of my life. I ended up owning 4 discos. Actually, me and my twin brother owned 4 discos when we got older. So I think it influenced me. I mean, in my business life, I had fish and chip shops, I had amusement arcade, I had bars, I had cafes, but my favorite was the disco. The disco was my favorite. So I became a DJ. I was a DJ for 26 years. I would DJ in my own discos that I owned with my brother, my twin brother. I'm a twin, yeah. So it really did influence my life massively.
But it wasn't released yet. It was 77, but they started filming Grease. It was going to be released by the time, it was released prior to the 78 release of Grease, of course, but it wasn't yet. But so Olivia, on the set, she was the big star. I mean, John had cachet, don't get me wrong, but she was the big star.
And they consider Henry Winkler.
Then, but obviously, I remember walking into a disco when I was about 16 years old. You had to be 18, but we got in at 16. I was very small, so I was always surprised that I got in. It felt like Christmas Day. I remember walking in, all the lights, everything flashing, the music, of course, the DJs, the dance floor, the bars, just everything about discos felt, it was honestly like Christmas Day. That's how I felt. Everything was like pizzazz. I really was affected by discos. It really, really was something I really loved doing. I loved dancing. And as I got older, I went to the discos 2-3 times a week, every week in, week out, for a big part of my life. So no surprise to me that I eventually owned a disco. I also, when I was 16 years old, actually I might have been 15 or 16, I worked in a disco as well. I used to be repair cars. So I had a job repairing cars when I was 15, 16. I left home when I was 15. Very young, but I left home when I was 15. But my point is, the person who owned the garage I worked in fixing cars bought a disco with his partner. So he said, "Lord, do you want to come and help me in my disco?" So I think that influenced me as well. The disco was called Piranhas. It actually had real piranhas in big fish tanks, and I would have to feed them. Big influence of my life with discos. It was a big thing for me. Big thing.
From Happy Days.
For the Fonz?
Yeah.
Sit down there, Fonzie.
But it was a destiny.
So we've mentioned this before many times. Of course, if you're into Elvis, the Fonz really was an important part of my life as a child, an older child. I loved the Fonz. I loved Happy Days. He was so perfect to play that role, and like the Fonz, he couldn't say the word wrong, could he? Right, wrong. If you're into rock and roll, you are gonna love this program. Let's keep going.
Perfect movie.
And he, the Fonz. Well, they think of the Greaser, that's what they're supposed to be, the T-Birds, right? The Greasers and Grease. Oh, he would have been, no good.
So, when we went to Bristol to watch this film, we went on a train journey. We weren't really allowed to go on the train. We were only 11. It wasn't far. It was only 20 minutes away on the train. Then we all walked round to the movie theatre. Massive queues going round the corner. All the press was there. This was a big deal. Yeah, this was like thousands of people. Many didn't get into the theatre. I remember sitting in the theatre, the movie theatre, and the opening part of the movie starts. Grease is the word, and guys, it was a 10. It was a 10. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I was obsessed with this film for years. I've always loved this film. This film. I still play it now. Almost every week, me and the kids will watch Grease. And actually, eventually, I grew to like Grease 2. Obviously, Grease 1 is 1,000 times better. But I got to like Grease 2 as well. I'm a big fan of Michelle Pfeiffer as well. She's amazing. Similar to Olivia Newton-John in many ways.
Not good.
You know, when you just look like behind you, the photo of John and Olivia for the promo shots of Grease, they are just timeless. I mean, they're so beautiful, the two of them together.
Right.
It's just unbelievable.
And the chemistry they had.
The chemistry was
The
knockout.
chemistry they had it for a long time. I mean, they had so much rumors that, you know, probably they had like a...
No, they liked each
like
other.
an affair.
They
or
did.
Rumors.
something.
They did. And
If you can find old interviews on YouTube that show them flirting with each other, come on, guys, they got it on. They got it on. What do you reckon?
they may have. You think they did?
I think they did.
I
I
think
think
they
they did.
Yeah, come on, look at them. I love John Travolta like that with short hair. Olivia is just stunning. Such a special time. If only we could turn back the clock. If only we could get on a time machine and travel back to the 70s.
Because these pictures of them kissing, you know, on parties and things like that, like real kisses.
Little hanky-panky on the set, I say.
Yes.
But what they did with that film was great too, because they released the music prior to the movie. Do you know that?
Oh no.
You're the One That I Want and Grease. They released those two, and they were like,
I knew it. That's how I remember it. That we could buy the single. I remember the logo, the Grease logo. You're the One That I Want, and Grease is the Word. I think he said. I bought them. We loved the songs. Obviously, we didn't know about the movie. We didn't know. Let's hear what he goes on to say.
You're the One That I Want went to number 1. I don't know if Grease did. I don't think Grease did. And Grease, Robert Stigwood, again, he managed the Bee Gees, of course, and he
Again, I'm a big fan of the Bee Gees, guys.
called up his good friend Barry Gibb. I mean, what about this Barry Gibb?
Right.
Do you love the Bee Gees?
Oh no, I
I mean, they're very gifted. Let's face it, guys. The Bee Gees, very, very gifted songwriters, singers.
love the
And Barry Gibb, so this was I was going to say this earlier. Barry Gibb has said that his favorite tune was "Hopelessly Devoted to You."
Oh, this is going to break my heart. I'm not allowed to play it because it will get copyrighted. So I really want to play it, but I can't. I'll just play 2 seconds.
It's not the first.
Guys, I wish I could play it. We're going to have to jump past it, guys.
Hopelessly devoted.
Wood back and says,
Right.
you know, Grease is the word, you know what I mean? And of course, you know, come on, Barry Gibb, you know,
Oh yeah, no, amazing talent.
and what happened was, this is so funny, and once I started forgetting the two, because there's two Frankies in this movie. There's a Frankie Valli and a Frankie Avalon.
Right.
They were big, you know, singers back then. And Frankie Valli sang the song Grease. He was offered either, because there's a scene in the movie, like an angel kind of guy, beauty school, dropout.
So this, I think, is when they mention Elvis. I hope. I'm pretty sure Elvis was offered this as well. He may not mention it. Let's just see.
That was the scene, and he was offered, you could either be that guy in this scene, you could be in the movie and do that tune, or you could do the title track. He chose the title track, that Frankie Valli, and then Frankie Avalon played the angel guy in
Oh,
Beauty School
nice.
Dropout.
But that was offered to Elvis. So unfortunately, Elvis didn't. It wouldn't have been lovely if Elvis did that. Obviously, I have to say that as an Elvis fan.
And you know what's so funny about that? Guess who were they considering for that role as the angel
Here we go.
kind of guy?
Elvis.
You got it. Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing your homework.
Oh yeah.
You want to know another thing about Elvis, the King, baby? Hunger. There was a scene in that movie with the character Rizzo. This is the
Right, I'm gonna stop it there. I want to make a coffee, and I'm gonna come back and make part 2. So I'm gonna upload part 1 onto the video section so we can watch this together. We can comment on this together. Brilliant. I'm learning lots. So guys, come on. I was obsessed with Greece. I have to honor Greece every opportunity I get. We're going to do some other Greece stuff as well. Thank you to Count Mozart and his assistant. Oh, God, I've forgotten her name already. Bella. Bella, you look beautiful. I love your channel. I love how you present things. I love how you do your research and you know so many different facts that are very, very interesting that we want to know, guys. There is probably another 15 minutes left in part 2. I want to play both parts. So this is part 1. Thanks for joining me. Obviously, we are defending Elvis, so we mainly do Elvis-related topics. But to me, it all goes hand in hand. Being into rock and roll, Happy Days, The Fonz, Sammy Davis Jr., American Graffiti, all those kind of things. Anything that sets the mood of rock and roll makes me feel all gooey inside. Okay, guys, I'll upload this now. Love you all. Hope you've enjoyed this part 1. Up we go.